welcome to Conversations with Khofane. I'm Khofane Modise, and we are live here at the All African Business Leaders Awards. And I'm with an award winner right now. How are you?
I'm good, feeling good after winning an award.
I'm sure you do. Could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us what industry you're in?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's lovely to be here with you. So thanks for having with me. I'm on debut on a podcast interview.
Yay!
It's lovely to make it on your podcast.
Thank you.
And my name is Alex Davidson. We just I work at Standard Bank, and we just won the award for the Corporate and Investment Bank of the Year.
I love how you're just looking into the camera. You don't want them to miss this part.
I don't want them to miss this part.
So let's talk about banking and the future of banking. But before we even get to the future, let's talk about the impact it's had so far, specifically within the African context.
Yeah, I think that banking has got a huge role to play in unlocking the full potential of the African continent. What a bank does incredibly well is a mechanism for the aggregation of capital and then the distribution of capital. And that's not something that we've been very good at.
What do you mean by that?
Well, traditionally, capital has lived in the hands of the select few. And that's not good for equitable growth.
Yeah.
And I think that there's tremendous strides that have been made in terms of banks learning how to service the full value chain of what's available on the continent.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you, but also I know that there are issues of inclusion, and are banks really fair? They're here to kind of get your money, and obviously, we'll talk about the bank you're working for, but in general, I think there might be some sort of misalignment when it comes to the education, us being educated as citizens or civilians in general about what the bank can do for us, and us being able to fully exploit what the services you guys can provide for us.
I must say, having worked at multiple banks and been in the industry for a very long time, the intention always by all banks that I've ever worked at is incredibly sound in terms of the intention to service, its full customer base and to make the access to capital available. So I've never felt like there's been anything untoward in it. I mean, do we always do it well? Maybe there's things that we've always had to learn and get better at.
Yeah.
But I've never ever felt like there's been any deliberate intent not to be equitable.
Yeah.
In terms of what banks do.
Yeah.
They take their role as the custodians of people's money. Which is how they accumulate the liabilities, which they will then repackage and on-lend.
Yeah.
Very seriously. And I think we've got good at it, and I think the intention is to get even better. I think it's a big commitment.
Yeah, and then how do you think the concept of innovation kind of comes into play, especially now with the surgence of AI and how things are looking?
I think it's such an exciting...
You're one of the very few people I've heard to get excited about
really?
AI.
No ways. I think we're at an amazing kind of turning point where I think, first of all, even before we get to AI, just technology and the power that we have in our hands at the moment in terms of accessibility to banking and financial markets, and the way that people are these days able to receive money, convert money, pay money away, invest their money. I've never seen it as prolific and accessible as it is at the moment. And I think that this journey is just going to accelerate and become, even more accessible to people as we go forward. So I think we're on the cusp of really the most exciting and accessible time for people for banking, and I think that's why it's so good for Africa.
Yeah, and then just kind of taking us a few steps back on access to finance and investment and so on. I know a lot of young players are really struggling, especially young entrepreneurs within Africa. I'm from Botswana, and access to market, access to finance is a huge thing sometimes. And I've noticed this across different, my interactions with different Africans, young Africans. So is it because we're not positioned well enough to get certain loans or some sort of credit from banks, or we just don't understand how it works?
No, I certainly would never think that it is that you just don't understand that it works. And I don't know, and then, to be honest, I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And certainly as a corporate and investment bank, which is where my speciality
Yeah.
is more dealing with corporates and professional organizations within the kind of the banking sector.
Yeah.
How and what banks need to do better to make capital available to, let's call it entrepreneurs, students, is something that I know the banks are very committed to. Where those roadblocks are and where the problems are, not something, that I feel like I'm qualified to answer, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, that's all right. It's honest. It's an honest. It's a very
Honest
honest
answer.
one. And so, after winning, what does this win mean to you? Does it mean that more should be done, or you keep doing what you're doing, or it means that there's just more pressure that's coming to you having had won this really incredible award?
It is an incredible award, and when I gave my acceptance speech, I started off by saying that the Standard Bank mission statement is that Africa is our home, we drive her growth.
Sure.
And we're very passionate about that. So when you ask me what now,
Yeah.
it's twofold for me, and I think for the Standard Bank organization. The first is well done that we seem to be doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And we really got to lean in and now do even more.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's like up until now, well done, but like
And
now
what
it's
does it mean
onward
for
and
you
upward.
as an individual? Because also all the pressure is kind of coming on you as a leader.
No, I think that the organization's so well set up. I have a look at the
Yeah. That's
leadership.
such a PR answer.
No, but it is. I mean, I can look in my eyes and you'll see it as a genuine answer. We've got the most amazing, I think we've got amazing leaderships in the banks in South Africa.
Yeah.
And actually when I've traveled on the continent, we've got really, really amazing financial institutions. They're well led. Standard Bank itself, I think, is well led. And so I don't really feel that much pressure. I feel quite a lot of excitement that the
Yeah.
framework and the leadership and the road is in place.
Yeah.
We just got to get on there and run, man.
Get on there and run. Thank you so much.
That's
and
a pleasure.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Sure. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.